So now we're going to look a little bit about exercise psychology. So we're going to cover the kind of psychology side of things when it comes to your role as a trainer in helping your clients with their exercise routines, but also then the contribution you may be making to your gym or studio if you happen to work for somebody else. So starting off looking at your own importance. So working with a personal trainer has been found to reduce the risk of cancellation. So you can actually get 29% reduction in cancellations from members if they engage in personal training sessions 4 or more times over a 12-week period. So it's not even that kind of higher intensity of sessions, but it's more that kind of consistency, helping to get into developing a pattern that helps then to reduce the risk of cancellation. And then conversely, the other side of it is if a member of a gym or a studio engages in personal training for a certain amount of time and then stops with the personal training, their risk of cancellation then increases a lot. So it means from that point of view, if someone stops using your services as a trainer, they're more likely then to cancel their membership, even if the membership allowed them to still use other services within the gym or health club. So from your point of view, you're very important to the gym or studio that you work at in terms of helping to keep members engaged and retained. The fact is that people self-report for starting personal training in the order that they cited them was for motivation, goal acquisition, and increasing confidence in exercise. So again, kind of pretty straightforward options that you would expect someone to say for their reasons for starting with a personal trainer. So again, though, if you can format this into part of your interaction with people, you know that what the key areas are they're going to want to kind of sign in general with a personal trainer for. The thing to bear in mind with this is, though, in terms of the study where this data came from, with it being self-report, you're never going to know for certain if there's a certain amount of kind of social significance to overplaying motivation, goal acquisition, and underplaying confidence and self-efficacy, which we'll come on to in a moment. In terms of the support you provide, then it's a good idea to try and interact and support your clients outside of the sessions. So again, to take yourself from being a good or very good trainer to being a great trainer can sometimes be the level of kind of after sales care almost. Is don't be looking at it where your session starts and finishes. Think about what you can kind of provide as more of a holistic way of training your client's lifestyle. There was a recent study that found that there's actually a compensatory effect of doing a good workout, whereby after you finish the workout, you're far more inclined to then eat badly or be less active for the days that follow. So you're almost kind of subconsciously rewarding yourself for a job well done as an exerciser. You're not then following it up over the kind of coming days then too. So from that point of view, it's kind of important for a trainer to train more of a holistic lifestyle approach rather than just saying between the kind of the start and finish of a session is whenever you're contributing to someone's lifestyle. This can just help to maintain your relationship, makes it less likely that someone's going to cancel their sessions with you in terms of not renewing and buying new packages, but also means then you're more likely to get referrals then too. So it's kind of more of a full package that you're offering. And then we'll look at self-efficacy, which you mentioned before, and the factors for joining with a personal trainer. Whenever a participant in an exercise-based study reports low self-efficacy, which means their kind of ability to perform an exercise or a task, or how difficult they find something, they then report lower enjoyment, which then leads to lower engagement, which means then they're more likely to drop out. So it's not necessarily a case of trying to make everything as fun or as easy as possible, because obviously you need to make it challenging. But if you can think of ways to kind of empower your clients a little bit more, improve their self-efficacy over time, then you've got a good opportunity to obviously retain your clients for longer and gain more referrals in as well. Also, an interesting point to note is when it comes to goal setting. Obviously you want to use your kind of smart goal setting to have quite specific goals for your clients to meet, but also look to include some supplementary goals along the way then as well. So now we're going to look at social media. So this is how you can actually get yourself out there and get known and hopefully attract more clients through that way. So looking at content marketing, if you aim to operate a 20-to-1 ratio of free content with a specific call to action. So for this, it would be when you're trying to kind of close new business, if you're maybe doing a promotion, or you're doing a limited time deal where you're including extra value for a certain amount of time. whenever you advertise something like that on social media, you want that to be a very small percentage of your overall content, because you want to position yourself first of all as being kind of a communicator and educator and someone kind of value. So with that in mind, you're still going to drive everything that you do on social media to a kind of a directed point, which may be to get someone onto your website or onto your club's website. So for everything that you post, you'll have an option to click through to head back to yours or your club's website. It just won't be straight onto the join page. You're looking to build rapport with your target clientele using your social media. A good way to do this is to be reliable, so both in the quality of the content that you produce, then also the frequency of it then as well. So if you're looking to kind of produce a regular blog, you may have loads of great ideas, and you could maybe produce as many as 6 or 7 blogs a month and just fire them out whenever you get a chance. But a much better strategy would be to then just target 2 specific times a month each month to post a new blog. And this way then people can start to actually expect it and will start to then look for it at these times. You've got additional services you can use outside of social media to kind of supplement what work you're doing on there. So for example, you can use the likes of Buffer, which will help you to schedule your posts. You can also then have a look at the different times that they recommend to reach your target demographic. And depending on which social media platform you're using as well, there's different times of day that suit best to post on them. So for example, on LinkedIn, people are more likely to check it whilst they're at work. So during the working day is a good time to post on LinkedIn. With the likes of Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, you're looking at lunch breaks and before and after work then to post, depending again on who your target clientele are. And whenever it comes to social media marketing, you got to keep in mind know, like, trust. So it's all about traversing the know, like, trust barrier to achieving your results. So this is how you build rapport with clients online. So even if you're not meeting people face to face, you use social media. And it's the same principle if you're kind of trying to introduce yourself in person to people, if you're walking the floor or teaching a class. You got to keep in mind this idea of know, like, trust. So when it comes to the know stage, your target clientele simply are becoming aware of you and what you offer. When it comes to the like stage, they're starting to then see the value in what you're offering. So this is from your content marketing, the quality and consistency and reliability of your posts, and then also your classes if you're doing them in person, or any advice that you may be giving someone on the gym floor. And then when it comes to trust, it's now that they see that you hold the solution to their kind of problems or goals, and they'll heed your advice, they'll listen to what you're saying now moving forwards. They've seen kind of the benefit of what you do. And if you use know, like, trust to govern all of your interactions with your potential clients, both online or in person, then this will kind of stand you in the best stead to continue to grow your business. And then if you do happen to have an online offering or your own personal website, this section will then give you some advice on how to design it and tailor it, and maybe change some of it around as you go. So what you need to do is you need to consider the user journey of your website. Again, you're developing that know, like, trust relationship before you're asking for the business. Whenever you're not there in person to do it and you're not controlling how someone uses your website, this is why it's important that you set it up in a certain way to bring people through a certain journey whenever they arrive at your homepage. So to do this, you look at using the foot in the door techniques. This is effectively starting small and then building up. So with this, again, you've got your 20-to-1 ratio of posts asking for business. But with everything else you do, you're driving them towards your website. And when someone visits your website, you want to immediately give them a reason to leave their contact details, potentially joining your mailing list, signing up for an e-sign or a blog, or signing up for an ebook or something like that. So foot in the door technique means asking for something small. And for someone visiting your website, something small to give away is their name and email address. And so that's the first thing you'd ask for. You then make a headline claim on your website. So whenever you've gone through your whole branding exercise, you know exactly who your target market are, you know who you are as a brand. You then need to think about what's the biggest claim you can make about your services, the results that you achieved based upon exactly who you're trying to target. This will then draw people in, and this is going to be the positioning yourself as the direct solution to what your most common target members' problems will be, target clients' problems will be. You then move on to use justification and social framing. So for this, then you justify why you're making this claim. You talk about your credentials, your experience as a trainer, whatever qualifications you've got, And then also you'll give your testimonial example. So again, you've done your branding exercise, you know exactly who you're trying to drive towards your website, and so you'll use a testimonial or testimonials from people who are in that exact same position, who started off at the exact same starting point that you're looking to bring people in at now, but they achieved this amazing things with you. And then you move on to have your call to action. So for this now, you want to then grab the reader's attention. So they've gone through these stages with you, they've gone on this journey with you. Now is the time to kind of ask for that business and to do it in a time sensitive way. So you maybe have something on there like an early bird special. You maybe include a little bit of extra content for free if someone signs up now or before a certain date. And this will allow you then to kind of prompt someone to kind of make that decision right there and then. With this, obviously, you need to think about exactly what you're comfortable with in terms of any extra content that you're going to give away as an incentive. And so to summarize your website, your foot in the door with your mailing lists, your headline claim of how you can help your specific target clients, justify it with your qualifications, use social framing of positive results, and then you have your call to action. Next up then is just about using your resources. So if you have time available to you, if you work at a gym or a studio, interact with as many members as possible, taking classes, walking the floor, and this will help you to accelerate that know, like, trust process. And then always find that reason to follow up, even if it's just to send through that quick extra bit of advice. You can get contact details from membership systems with the permission of the potential member, or ask directly for an email address to send it through. And then record all of your data thoroughly, so this will ensure you're maximizing every opportunity. So any interaction that you do have, any contact details that you do gather, make sure you've got a database, a spreadsheet that you're using where you put in every single potential piece of business in there, which then allows you to kind of structure your follow-ups, add any additional notes. You'll never forget anybody, you'll never forget to get back in touch with someone. It means you'll be super sharp and on top of everything you need to do. Alright, and then we'll look at setting targets. So again, for this, it's something that comes very naturally to a personal trainer and a coach in terms of when they're advising their clients. So it's a very normal thing to set time relevant goals with your clients. And so now is the time to start to implement it for yourself then as well. So for this, as we said before, the new client funnel, you want to set your specific targets for the different stages of that funnel. So how many new leads you need to get, how many conversations you need to have, how many meetings you need to book, and how many clients you need to sign. So you can break it down per week. You can record your progress against your target. You can identify which areas you need to work harder on, which areas you need to get better at. And that way then it allows you to control the controllables to reach your long-term and your medium-term goals in as well. So if you set in a goal for 6 months' time, one for 2 years' time, then you just break down the steps required to get there. So you make the goal smaller each time as you break it down, a little bit more achievable, a little bit more controllable, which then allows you the stepping stones to make it to your goal at 6 months and at 2 years' time. And the key thing to do that is to identify your brand, and that way then you're going to drive everything towards the same direction. So just contact details on here then. So a website, if you want to find out more about anything that we covered today, it's fitnessindustrysales.com. You can email info@fitnessindustrysales.com, or you can tweet us at salesforfitness. Thank you for